What do you get when you take the isolation of The Martian, the mind-bending stakes of Interstellar, and the existential dread of a high school science pop quiz you forgot to study for? You get Phil Lord and Christopher Miller's Project Hail Mary. Adapting an Andy Weir novel is no easy feat. The guy writes math problems wrapped in survival stories. But writer Drew Goddard and the directing duo behind Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse didn't just adapt this book, they launched it into the stratosphere. Let's break down the good, the bad, and the brilliant in our spoiler-free review. The setup is beautifully simple. Ryan Gosling plays Ryland Grace, a middle school science teacher who wakes up from a coma on a spaceship. He has severe amnesia and no clue where he is, who he is, or why his crewmates are, well, dead. As his memory piece by piece returns, through some incredibly well-edited flashbacks, he remembers the stakes. Earth's sun is dying due to a space parasite called astrophage, and he is humanity's absolute last hope. Can we talk about Ryan Gosling? This man spends a massive chunk of a 2.5-hour runtime talking entirely to himself, a computer, or other entities, and he absolutely commands the screen. He brings that signature Gosling charm, but layers it with his frantic, desperate intelligence and deep-seated vulnerability. If you thought he was great in First Man or Blade Runner 2049, this is a whole new best. Visually, the film is a masterpiece. Lord and Miller ditched their usual hyper-frenetic editing for something that feels grounded, massive, and deeply atmospheric. The production design of Hail Mary ship feels tactile and real, and the sound design is easily some of the best we've heard in years. But what truly elevates this film from a standard save-the-world sci-fi flick into an instant classic is its heart. The movie treats science not as a boring textbook, but as an act of pure heroism. And without spilling the second half for the three people who haven't read the book, the central relationship and camaraderie developed in deep space is genuinely beautiful. I didn't expect to cry at a movie about astrophysics, but here we are. Is it completely flawless? Not quite. If you're a fan of heavy scientific exposition, the first act might feel a bit like a lecture. The film trusts the audience's intelligence, which is refreshing, but it means the pacing hits a few speed bumps early on, while it explains the mechanics of the universe. Also, if you watched the trailers, the marketing department definitely gave away a bit too much of the mid-movie spectacle. Ultimately, Project Hail Mary is a triumphant, fiercely optimistic sci-fi masterpiece. It's easily one of the best films of 2026, managing to feel both spectacularly massive in scope and deeply intimate in its storytelling. I can say for myself that I actually saw this movie 2 times in theaters because I thought it was that good. I'm giving Project Hail Mary a 9.5 out of 10. If you haven't seen it in IMAX yet, do yourself a favor and catch it before it leaves theaters, or grab it on VOD right now. It is worth every single penny.